What's going on? You tuned into another episode of Not the Average Local Rapper, hosted by yours truly, East Shore Rich. And it's New Year, or it's about to be a New Year when I drop this episode. I'm not exactly sure when it's going to drop, but either way, it's a good time to talk about making sure you take action and stay active towards what it is that you're trying to accomplish because it don't matter about what day or what year it is, man. What month? It don't matter about none of that. Cause you got to be on this shit 365 if you want to make some type of progression in this shit. Otherwise, you're just gonna stay in the same place. And that's just really what this episode is about. Just the things that you gotta do to stay active because this shit is constantly growing. You know what I mean? It's moving at a fast pace, and like the attention spans is short, as I think I said in like one of the last episodes. Like people's attention spans is a lot shorter now, so it's like you gotta stay on this shit. You gotta keep doing things. Keep yourself relevant to your audience, or you just gonna eventually fade out. And one thing I will say, it's kind of like relevant to like the to it being the end of the year because I'm recording this on I think it's December 30th right now, or it's about to be. It's like I look at like how shit was at the beginning of the year and how it is now, and like I'm more so just focused on myself, but I have kind of noticed that like some of the people that I seen going hard with this shit in the beginning of the year, or was doing some things in the beginning of the year, like they stopped in their tracks, man. And I'm not gonna lie, man, I don't like seeing that shit for anybody. Like I feel like if this is what you want to do and this is what I mean, what you passionate about, then it's like you got to keep going. Like it's a lot of circumstantial shit that'll make you want you know not do it at certain times, or it might derail you from your mission. But it's like if this is really what you're about, and I'm assuming it is if you listening to this, um you just gotta keep going, man. You gotta keep staying active. And I mean, of course, the largest part of that, well, I ain't gonna say the largest part now. I mean, once upon a time, definitely, but you definitely gotta make the music. I don't even expect most artists to. I don't really have any expectations for other artists. I only focus on what I'm trying to do, but I wouldn't expect other artists to be active, to the degree that I am, where I'm like dropping shit so frequently or whatever. But it's like you gotta do more than just drop one song a year and push the same song and the same video and just the same content. You gotta have a variety of things going on. And otherwise, you just people. So it's like if unless you run the ads, that's the only way I guess you can really, what I mean, focus on one song and one piece of content for so long, because it's like you gotta constantly be reaching a different audience for it to be new to people. Otherwise, it ain't gonna be new no more. And like everything has its expiration as far as music goes. I mean, people always appreciate certain songs and shit, but it's very seldom, especially in this day and time, that they're gonna listen to a song every day over and over again. So it's like you either gotta make new music or you gotta reach a new audience, with the same music. So I mean, to each artist their own, method of doing shit. Like I said, me personally, I choose to drop music frequently for the reasons that I do it. With everybody, like that's the thing about being an artist. Like there's no one way to do this shit because everybody has um, their own end goal, their own journey they trying to go on, their own reasons of doing shit. So it's like there's definitely no right or wrong way to doing shit. It's just more about what's effective for the individual. So I mean, but music is definitely a big part of it though. Like you gotta have some type of shit going on with the music. I mean, if you want to consider yourself an artist, I mean, otherwise, I guess you would just be a content creator, which brings me to the next thing. Making content is a really big part of being an artist right now. Even if you are an artist, it seems that you still have to be on point with the content. Meaning shit outside the music, and that, like that's something that I have to work on. It's something that I am working on, trying to get better at it, trying to get more creative with the posts that I make. I'm trying not to make it all just songs and videos of me rapping. I'm trying to talk a little more, be in front of the camera more. I'm not a fan of being in front of the camera at all. Really not. Like I don't even know if everybody will realize that as frequently as I do it, but it's just because I realize that it's just one of them things that gotta be done, man. If I want to get the what I'm trying to get to, like I'm passionate about my craft though, so like if there's things that I have to do, if I have to sacrifice my comfort zone, and so be it, because my thing always been there ain't no growth in the comfort zone. So it's like, you gotta jump out there and do things. And I think a lot of people got that complex that I have about making content and, doing things outside of just recording the music and, promoting that shit and shit like that. So it's like, you gotta have some type of other content to offer if you want to, make a little motion in this shit. Cause there's so many artists, man, and I see a lot of the sponsor ads on my news feed and shit, and I ain't gonna lie, man, like I just be like, damn, yo, these motherfuckers be so creative, yo. Like I really gotta step my game up. Like it's like I don't really like to compare myself, but at the same time, I'm like, shit, like see, I'm like what I like to consider like a raw, plain individual, man. Like I'm not gonna do a whole bunch of extra shit to try to gain attention. It's just I'm gonna try to grab your attention with the shit that I am doing, but at the same time, I realize that like you got to do certain things to try to draw attention. You can't just be plain Jane, as they say. But so it's kind of just a medium for me. It's like I don't want to like go all extra crazy, but I don't want to be like too plain to the point where like ain't nobody gonna pay me no mind either. So it's just that content shit. It gets crazy, man. Like I said, I think a lot of us have that thing about not really wanting to to be on a camera like that, or really want to be engaged in a whole lot like that. And so I mean, unfortunately, like if that is the case, it's just something you're gonna have to break out of if you want to move forward and shit. And it's just about like that social media presence, man. Like, and that's where I definitely lack, more, even more so than making the content. I really lack on just like an overall social media presence. Like I'm starting to play the Instagram real heavy, like I had been for a while. But I don't do Twitter or X or whatever that shit called now, or I don't do Snapchat. I have TikTok. I got a couple posts on that, but I just can't get with TikTok, man. Like I don't know. I've tried to learn more about it. Like I tried to engage in it, but it's just the way I'm set up, man. It's like I've even ran ads on there, which I kind of feel they're effective as far as getting in front of an audience, but I just don't know and maybe I just need to do more research about it, but I just don't really know the specifics of how to reach, like, the ideal target audience, you know, for me as an individual. You know what I mean? I think it's like they put your shit out there more broad than like Instagram, where you can kind of like target shit a little better. But like I said, maybe I just need to learn more about it. But I don't know. The social media thing with me, man, is like, I just try to I try to do enough to where like the people that's tapped in with me, they gonna be able to see things from you on the regular, and it's gonna be content there on the regular, and music there on the regular. But as far as like the extra stuff, past that, like a whole lot of back and forth commenting, and just going extra crazy. One thing I've never done ever on social media. I don't have Facebook no more, because like Facebook was more like a personal thing, but like I also felt like it could kind of be like a distraction, which is another topic I actually want to get into, the whole avoiding distractions. But I'll get back to that. But like I've never gone live on any social media platform. Like I just kind of pre-record my shit every time and post it whenever I feel it need to be posted. But I've never gone live before. Like I've been a part of other people's lives and shit, but like I've never actually gone live before. I'm sure, if I get to the ideal place I'm trying to get to, there's gonna be a time where, I may have to go live and shit. But for right now, I'm looking at it like, case scenario, and in my case, I'm like, all right, say I decide to go live on like a Friday night or some shit like now, at maybe 9:30, 10 o'clock. Yeah, I say based off of, my supporters, like, real true, they're all the time supporters on, like I said, on a Friday night at like 9:30. I may have about maybe, I say maybe 10, 15, 20 people max watching me live, man. And for X amount of time, you know what I mean? I don't even imagine somebody would sit there and watch me on live the whole time, because to be quite honest with you, I'm not really going to be doing shit that's even going to be worth watching like that I can't just pre-record in another video, and it's like, why go live and, potentially waste other people's time who think I might actually, be doing something of importance worth watching, or even waste my own time, putting the energy and effort into trying to, entertain the audience. No offense to the audience, because I fuck with my supporters, but, they're going to, rock with whatever I post. And with that being said, it's like, like why, use the time and energy to go live and shit, when I can, put that towards, just creating other type of content, that I could probably make in less time and do more of. And, it would be more meaningful, you know what I mean? So yeah, I just kind of look at it like, overall social media is definitely not really my strong point. I do the most with what I got, which is Instagram, and I got my YouTube channel, and I get on TikTok here and there. I should probably get better at posting on there, because I do realize that people got a better chance of going viral on TikTok, and then a lot of these other platforms. But I don't really give a shit about going viral. I'm gonna be honest, man. I'm really just trying to reach the people, I know will appreciate me. And I don't want to be just somebody just came and went real quick, So yeah, social media. I'm a I'm gonna consider, and if anybody's listening to this, if they have any type of advice or feedback on what I could do to improve my social media presence or make me a little more willing. I don't know what word I'm looking for, but like a way that I would, I guess be in the social media more. That might be more appealing to me or something. If you have any suggestions, you know what I mean. I'm sure you know how to reach me if you're listening to this. Just DM me and you know what I mean, or comment or whatever, and just tell me some type of recommendations you may have on how I can get with this social media shit a little bit more because like I'm here to inform, but I'm also here to learn, man. So definitely yeah. So like I said, this episode was just based about or not based about based on or about or a combination of the two, whatever. This episode is just about like staying active, on your journey as an artist, man. I've seen so many people fall stagnant and just completely give it up. And I'm talking about some talented people that was passionate about this shit, and somewhere along the line, shit just didn't pan out, and they stopped the journey for whatever reason. And a lot of times, that can be from dealing with real life situations. And I get it, man. People go through the things that they go through in life. I don't even really, need to get into examples because I think we all know what real life situations are as adults. And most of us have dealt with like any type of real life situation you can deal with. But one thing I learned is like, when you do deal with the adversities and the traumas and the issues and the problems in life, sometimes turning to your art and your journey as an artist is the best thing that you can do to use as an alternative way to occupy your mind as opposed to being stressed out about what's going on. And some things you just gonna have to take care of, and you're gonna have to put everything else on the back burner, and music being one of them. You're gonna have to let real life get in the way, and it's just gonna be too much to focus on anything else. Like I've been there, but that's why it's so important to take advantage and utilize the moments where there isn't anything that could potentially deter you from your path that you on. You know what I mean? It's important to utilize every moment of every day that you have available. And that's one thing that I'm definitely learning now that I have more idle time and shit. But those real life situations, sometimes, it's just unavoidable and inevitable that you can't, always pursue what you're pursuing at the time. But hopefully, in them situations, it's just temporary and it's something that you can bounce back from because, like your mission is your mission, and like ain't none of us gonna be here forever to chase it. So it's like you gotta chase it and just hope that you get it while you're here. And another thing that can deter people from the path that they're on is just overall distractions. And it ain't even gotta be so much the real life situations that can be because even not even I'll go back the real life situations, not even all of them are bad situations. Some are good situations, like like you might have other good things going on in your life that you just need to focus on. And so it's like just overall like other things in life just may have to come first. So Yeah, but then you know, you just have sometimes you just have distractions, like I was saying, and you know that more so be like stuff that's self inflicted. You know, like I had to eliminate things and people from my life that became a distraction from, you know, what I'm trying to accomplish. And it's like, you know, it may sound harsh, you know, and it may even come off harsh, you know, when you gotta do it. But it's like, you know, this is, you know, this is your life that you're talking about. This is your livelihood. This is, you know, this is your passion. This is, you know, something that you want really invest a lot into, you know, and it requires a lot of time and energy. So anytime you got people or things involved that can be a distraction of that, it's like you gotta make a choice. You gotta make an ultimatum, you know, like you gotta eliminate those distractions, or you gotta keep dealing with them distractions and accept that it's gonna derail you. So if you're serious about it, then you know, like you gotta do what you gotta do to eliminate those distractions and move forward. And a lot of distractions be, you know, when you like I said, when you have other people and other things that you're focused on, it always takes away from what you're trying to do for yourself. And you know, I more so mean, like, you know, for example, I use myself for an example, man. I keep it a beam, man. Sometimes I get so caught up in these funny ass videos that people send me to my DMs, you know, my peoples and shit that I know. They'll send me, you know, these funny ass videos and shit, and I get caught up watching them, or, you know, I get caught up watching shit on YouTube, and, you know, just different shit that I be doing around the house and shit, you know, like that I know I could be like, man, you know, that same 15, 20 minutes I just spent doing this, I could have put together a video, you know, that can post and, you know, maybe eventually promote and run an ad for. Like, you know, it just be shit like that, you know. So like them distractions, man, you know, like they a motherfucker, but you know, we human, so it's like it's not so much about getting rid of distractions completely, because I don't even know, I don't even think that's possible, but you know, it would definitely be beneficial to, you know, eliminate as many as you can, and you know, focus on the mission at hand. And when you are focusing on your mission, you know, you're gonna have doubts. Like that's the next thing about it, man. Like I think so many people along the way, like they, like earlier I was saying, you know, like I know so many, I can't even like think of a number of how many people I know that I've done music with at one point, or I've seen them, you know, watch their journey, because, you know, they was doing it around the same time I was, and they just not doing it no more, yo. And I just be like, man, like, you know, it's like it's a moment where I pat myself on the back because I'm still going, but like I'm just like, damn, you know, I wish they would keep going too, man, because I know, you know, how gratifying this shit can be, you know. And then, you know, anything that you have longevity in life, you know, is gonna bring you some type of you know, self pride and you know, gratification and shit, like I was saying. So it's like, I don't know, man. Like I definitely, you know, feel like, you know, like sometimes people just have their doubts and they talk themselves out of doing it, you know, like you know, you get to a certain age or you get to a certain point in life, and like, you know, like, see, this is where I can't really relate to a lot of people. I don't have kids, so I know, you know, a lot of times when people have kids and they start families and shit, you know, like that becomes like the priority, and I get that, you know, but at the same time I don't, because I got, you know, my peoples I do music with that, you know, they didn't have kids before we started doing music, and you know, they got kids now, and they got families now, but they still gonna find a way and make a way. It may not even be that frequent, and you know, that's fine. It's not so much about how much you do something, it's just making sure that you still have it in you to do it. If you think, oh damn, I want to do this again, or you know, I want to keep doing this, you just gotta have it in you. You know, like time is always gonna be like a restraint, unfortunately, because that's just how this life was set up. You know, like we all on like this time system. You know, but it's just about, you know, not making excuses and just, you know, having the confidence and the faith in yourself to just keep doing this shit. And um that's if you know you're trying to, you know, pursue it as anything more than a hobby. But you know, some people just, you know, they had it as a hobby for however long they had it for, and they decided that they just wanted to move on to something else. I've had hobbies like that. I used to play sports and shit. I used to do other extracurricular things, and you know, I outgrew them. But like, I started doing music, and you know, that was my shit. Like, it was like, man, I found my thing. Like, you know, this is it right here. Like, this is my sport. This is my club. This is my, you know, whatever it is that people do that they passionate about. So, and that's what it's about. You know, it's just about remembering why you started. You know, like we all, you know, probably came in with different reasons why we did this shit. Me personally, you know, reason I even started doing music, I'm probably sure I've said it on like a prior episode, but like, I've always been a writer. You know, I used to write short stories and poetry and journalism. You know, president of the school newspaper once upon a time. Like, so writing was always in me. But like, when I freestyle with my homeboy for the first time and it was off the top of the head, I'm like, well, damn, like this was fun, but that shit off the top of the head was trash. So let me try to write something, you know, like a rhyme, like a, you know, like a verse or whatever, and the rest is history. You know what I mean? So it's like, you know, that was my thing. You know, this was my way of writing. Always been my way of expressing myself. So once I found this shit, like this is what it was about. This is my reason for doing it. Anything that came after that was just extra. It's a list of shit that I've done in the past 20 years, you know, the time that I've been rapping, that I never would have imagined for myself as a teenager, you know, because I started rapping when I was about 17, 18. So 16-year-old me would have never imagined me doing the shit that I've done, you know, in the past 20 years. And you know, it's cool, it's great, you know what I mean? But after all that shit, after all the traveling, after all the popularity, after all the benefits that came out of it, I always remember why I did this shit, you know, why I started doing this and why I still do it to this day. You know, what made me passionate about it? What made me passionate about it back in 2003 is the same thing that made me that I'm passionate about in 2023. Kind of twisting my words because, you know, I'm like really, you know, trying to, you know, make that the bottom line here, because that's how I'm gonna end it, man. If you don't take nothing else from this episode right here, just remember why you started doing this shit and let that be what drives you to keep going, you know? Like, unless you started on some phony shit, like, you know, just worried about the popularity, the fame, the clout, you know, the newest term, or money, you know what I mean? Don't, all that shit will come if it's meant to, you know, but if you really passionate and, you know, like this is what you enjoy doing aside from all of that, then just remember that and it'll always keep you going, man. And on that note, this has been another episode of Not the Average Local Rapper, hosted by yours truly, Eshore Ridge. I appreciate you listening, and I'll catch you on the next one. And Happy New Year.